Hey guys, Awesome 7th Hour Films back again with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Last time on JoJo, we had Hermes's stickers. It sounds weird to say Hermes stickers. Hermes has stickers now, alright? So yeah, Hermes woke up in the ICU after a long time in the ICU, honestly. But she found that she now has a stand. Smack. Or kiss. I'm probably just going to say kiss a lot. So that sounds weirder than I meant that too. Anywho. But yeah, she has stickers that can duplicate anything she puts a sticker on. And she had a weird encounter with this guy with his stand. It was a whole thing. But she basically got to know her stand a bit and got used to fighting with her stand a bit, and now she wants to find Jolene and help her and Emporio with this whole disc situation and Pale Snake. So yeah, that's pretty much where we left. So, like always, the reaction is down in the description and the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Here we go. Alrighty, well, last episode, again, a good episode for Hermes, but it was kind of weird overall just because of McQueen. This episode was really damn good. That was a really damn good episode. Oh, man. I absolutely love Stone Ocean. I guess the stand, the jury's still out. I'm very much enjoying the part itself, but Stone Ocean, the stand, Stone Free, I guess. It's just so interesting. It's what I always wanted out of Hermit Purple. If Joseph had Hermit Purple, he'd be doing the same friggin' thing. Just making structures out of vines, Now, granted, he would not have been able to do that gut-separating thing that she pulled. But still, that was pretty cool. Oh, man, oh, man. Oh, such good stuff, man. Plus, just keeping the mystery of Pale Snake going. I like that, again, we pretty much from the get-go have our enemy, Because I'm pretty sure he's the main... I think he's the main villain, so... Yeah, it's interesting... Because, it's not until about halfway through Part 5 that you really get, the struggle with King Crimson, You get Bucciarati versus Diavolo, or at least, Bucciarati versus King Crimson. We don't even know Diavolo's name at the time, but that's halfway through. Here, it's like, no, we're just going straight into it, And I like that. It honestly... It reminds me of earlier in JoJo, like Part 1 and Part 2, where it's like, yeah... Part 1, the whole point is to defeat Dio Brando, that's the whole thing in Part 1, and you get little things along the way until eventually you face Dio. Part 2 is kind of the same way, where, yes, you start off with Straizo, but then you get the Pillarmen, and you build up the Pillarmen until eventually you have cars. And this feels like that again, And yes, there are still... a lot of moments in these episodes that are more similar to our past stand parts, but this feels like this also feels like Part 1 and Part 2, and I'm really glad for it. It's like the perfect mixture of Part 1, Part 2, and Part 5. Because all of those are overarching stories. Yes, they are episodic to an extent, but they're just such overarching stories. More so than Part 3 and Part 4. Well, definitely Part 4, but even more than Part 3, So yeah, good stuff. So, the search party. There's 6 of us. This is getting out of hand now. There are 6 of us. So, that's an interesting thing. Now, I will say, this is the point in my JoJo reactions where, once again, we have to talk about the OP, because This has happened before with Polnareff and Okuyasu, and I'm sure there was something in part 5. But the OP does tell you things, you know? A JoJo OP will tell you things, and most of the time, you know, you really can't decipher it. You can't... Like, that's the funny thing is, JoJo OPs love to spoil things, you just don't know what it's spoiling. However, the thing that it does spoil is the one girl with the green hair. In the OP, it's her... It's Jolene, Hermes, and her. They're standing as like a trio. So that leads me to believe that this girl is not actually dead. But we'll see that later. I'm sure. We'll have to figure that out. And again, that's the thing is, you know, looking at her, she is very specifically designed. You know, she's got the colorful hair where the others don't really. Well, except the one. There's one other where it's like, okay, I think she's the stand user because she, you know, is very creative in her design. You know, the other two, they look pretty basic, you know? I could be wrong, but that's what it kind of looks like. So, but that's the thing with the green-haired girl is I think she's still alive somehow. I'm not really sure how. She did explode, you know? But we'll have to see. So yeah, so now we have the whole thing of Pale Snake stockpiling stands, basically. And he has a ton of discs that stockpile stands. And yeah, he's stolen so many stands from different stand users, and now he can give them out, you know, at a moment's notice. So that's how McQueen got his stand. I love Pale Snake's voice. It's kind of goofy. It's like if you had a goofier version of Avdol, you know? But it's a good voice. It's just kind of goofy. So yeah, so he has a bunch of them, and most likely that's where Star Platinum is. So yeah, hopefully they can do that. And then we had everything... I will say I like the change in scenery, which every episode has basically given us a change in scenery, despite the fact that, you know, it's all been in this one prison. But I really did enjoy the change of scenery here to the sort of farmlands, you know? So that was interesting. And again, you know, because I've thought before, it's like, man, you know, we've had, you know, Italy and Japan and Egypt and, you know, Asia and Britain. It's like we've had all these interesting, you know, places in JoJo, and then part 6 is going to be in Florida. It's like, well, that's not that interesting, but if anyone can make it work, it's Araki and David Productions. They make it, oh god, excuse me. They make it look good. They make Florida look good, a very interesting location, you know? So I do like that, and I like this farmland outside of the prison, you know? Now, it's interesting that... Okay, so this stand, whatever it is, this stand, you know, has hired someone, basically, to guard... has hired somebody to guard the discs that are within the tractor's tire. But why kill those two guards? Like, they probably wouldn't have found it, you know? So why would you risk that? Because now, that just tips off Jolene in order to go there. I don't know, it's a strange thing. That it's like, you know, if you let those guards alone, I doubt they would have found those discs, you know? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So yeah. And we did get the reunion of Jolene and Hermes, which was great. I like just the two of them. They're bros. They are friends now. It's, you know, it's the JoJo and the Joe Bro. And right now that Joe Bro is Hermes, so I'll take it. I really do enjoy them. And yeah, the two of them together are really interesting. And just the use of their powers. Again, you know, kind of similar. I mean, it's... I guess last part, like, there wasn't too many, like, super crazy powers in the team itself, the core team. It's like, you know, Giorno had his, you know, crazy life creation stuff. But, like, you know, Mista had his bullets, Narancia had his, you know, plane. Abakio, you know, his whole thing was just, you know, the retrocognition or whatever. And then Bucciarati, you know, he's got zippers, you know? And I like the more simple stands, honestly, you know? Even if it is, you know, just sort of basic powers of, yeah, the sticker that duplicates something, you knock it off, the things merge back. That's pretty much as far as we've had so far. That's all, you know, Kiss does, you know? But it's still really interesting. I like the way they use it. And honestly, I'm just really enjoying Stone Ocean. And it is kind of a thing. It's like, after 2 parts where it's like, okay, you know, here's Crazy Diamond. You know, he can restore anything back to where it should be. Or here's Golden Wind. He can create life and transform things into different animals. And it's all this complicated stuff. I'm glad to have a more simple stand. You know, more akin to Star Platinum, which for the most part in part 3 was just beating people up, you know, but also giving us, you know, some more interesting ideas that are more like Hermit Purple. So I really enjoy that about Stone Ocean. It's just such an interesting thing. And yeah, the fact that it's like, because it's basically her actual body becoming these threads, you know, which is interesting. So because of that, it just changes her, you know? She basically transforms her body into a stand, you know? And because of that, yeah, if somebody tries to punch her, she can just move all those threads and not take the punch, you know? Which is the same thing that Bucciarati did with King Crimson, is that, you know, he thought he just pierced Bucciarati, but at the last second he made a zipper so that he would go straight through him, you know? So I really enjoy that. So yeah, really, really interesting stuff, and I'm excited to see where we are going next time. But that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist for all of my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.